Hey everybody, welcome back to the Wolfe Pit with another episode of What Are We Eating? Last year in 2017, I tried a lot of different foods for you, the people, so you didn't have to. 31 of these foods came from my own personal adult playground, the Dollar Tree. Some of these foods were not surprisingly inedible, some were barely edible, and some were downright delicious and healthy. So let's go over the 31 different Dollar Tree foods I tried in 2017, from the worst to the best. The very worst thing I tried from the Dollar Tree in 2017 was the chef's requested bacon-wrapped chopped beef steaks. These contained a 30% water solution, which made me give them the very appropriate title of Water Burgers, not to be confused with Whataburger. These burgers were nothing more than a formed meat slurry held together with calcium sulfate, which is the same substance used to make plaster of Paris. The chopped beef steaks did form a nice crust when I pan-fried them, but the inside texture looked like a soggy piece of bread and was like chewing on a wet sock. Next up were the Dollar Tree shrimp, chicken, and lobster egg rolls. All of these egg rolls had more ingredients than you'd ever expect to be in an egg roll. Out of the wrapper, they looked good. Once baked, the egg rolls, not me. The shrimp egg roll was the only one that got crispy. The chicken and lobster egg roll turned into a soggy mess. Once I gave them all a taste, the final result was they all had the same musty smell, mushy texture, and sour taste. Frankly, these sucked. The Comfort Creek dumplings and chicken, that's right, dumplings and chicken, not the normal chicken and dumplings. And I found out Comfort Creek calls them chicken and dumplings for a reason, because it was a can full of soggy, doughy, flavorless dumplings with specks of chicken in it. A lot of salt and pepper didn't even help. Snap's cheese sticks looked good, and they looked just like normal cheese sticks out of the box. But once I cooked them, most of them had a cheesy blowout. But there were a couple that didn't have a blowout. But even with those, there was very little cheese, too much breading, and no flavor. If you love teriyaki chicken like I do, you better think twice before you get it from the Dollar Tree. Yusing's teriyaki chicken meal is anything but teriyaki chicken. There was literally 2 small pieces of formed meat slurry chicken. This meal had no flavor and not enough rice to fill a cavity. This wasn't worth 50 cents, much less $1. Circle A Ranch Homestyle Meatballs. These were more like sponge balls than meatballs. No flavor, very spongy, and overall, gross and inedible. Chef Gusto's Pepperoni mini pizza bagels were a disappointment. I cooked them in the oven, which you would think would be the preferred method, and the bagels tasted like Melba toast. I also heated some up in the microwave, which were actually a little bit better. Fast Bites Chili Cheese Dog. It's a chili cheese dog, so it can't be that bad, right? Especially with a plethora of ingredients. Well, yes it can. The bun burnt as I cooked it per the instructions. The chili was nothing more than TVP, and the hot dog was a tiny weenie with the texture of a fishing grub. The Fast Bites breaded chicken sandwich wasn't really any better, and it also had a whole lot of ingredients. It was more bland meat slurry formed into a meat patty with an overabundant amount of fillings and breading. And the bun was very dry. Overall, not very good at all. Another Circle A Ranch product I tried was their breaded strip-shaped chicken breast patties with rib meat. These were slightly better than their meatballs, but that's not really saying a whole lot. They smelled good, had a nice crispy breading, but the meat was like chewing on a moist mattress in a nursing home. Not appetizing at all. Snap's loaded potato sticks had an encyclopedia of ingredients, but these actually had a little bit of flavor, and they were crispy, but they were missing the potatoes. These had a lot of potential, but still fell short of a winner. Golden Crust Jamaican vegetable, chicken, and beef patties fared a little bit better. The vegetable patties were bland, and they were a disaster after cooking. The chicken patty had the best crust and had some real chicken in it. The beef patty was a little bit better, but the crust wasn't very good. These weren't great, but they were edible. 2 quarter-pound beef patties for only $1 sounds like a decent deal. And how can you go wrong with a beef patty? Well, Extra Value found a way to do it with their beef patties. Along with the beef, they had beef heart in them, which didn't really bother me because beef heart is delicious, but it might bother some people. But the TVP in these burgers definitely bothers me. These burgers were very light and airy once cooked. They didn't feel meaty at all. They had a spongy texture and didn't have much flavor. Definitely not a tasty value. Stampede, the wonderful people who brought us the $1 ribeye rip-off steak and the $1 pork loin chops, also brought us these beef fritters for country fried steak. They had a nice pretzel coating that would have been delicious on anything but country fried steak. These were very little meat, a whole lot of breading, and pretty bland. Even adding homemade country gravy couldn't even help these pass as country fried steak. Fast Bites, the company who seems to pride themselves on seeing how many ingredients they can get into a product, brought us their fish and cheese sandwich, which although not equal to McDonald's filet of fish, it was actually edible. If I would have added a little bit of tartar sauce, it might have given the filet of fish a run for its money. Larry the Cable Guy tried to get her done with his biscuits and sausage gravy, but he didn't succeed. There were literally only 5 rat turd-sized pieces of sausage, the biscuits were doughy, the gravy was really bland, and they put parsley in sausage gravy. You simply don't put parsley in sausage gravy. Chef Ernesto always impresses me with the very few and simple ingredients he puts in his product, and his battered mushrooms were no exception. But I baked them according to the directions on the box, and they turned out pretty soggy. But the flavor was pretty good. I'd get these again, but I'd deep fry them instead of baking. Fast Bites sausage biscuit. Again, it had a whole lot of ingredients, but it was surprisingly good. The biscuit was a little bit doughy from the microwave, and the sausage had a good flavor and a decent meaty texture. In a pinch, I'd eat one of these again. The same goes for the Fast Bites chicken biscuit. It had a plethora of fillers and ingredients, but it had good flavor and the texture was okay. Again, in a pinch, I'd eat it. Next was the $5 Dollar Tree dinner and dessert, which consisted of flounder fillets that were a little on the fishy and salty side, but overall weren't bad. A loaded baked potato, which tasted okay, but it was a little bit dry, but some butter would have fixed that. Asparagus spears, which tasted a whole lot better than they looked. Creamed spinach, which was absolutely delicious. And dessert, which was a mushy frozen medley of fruit. The fruit would have been better if I made it into a smoothie. Another Snaps product I tried was their cream cheese pepper bites. That, of course, had a whole lot of unnecessary ingredients. But they were creamy, spicy, and delicious. Southgate chili. It was part of my canned chili throwdown. And surprisingly, it had very few ingredients. But I wouldn't consider it chili. More like a can of seasoned beans. It wasn't bad at all, but it wasn't chili. Rico's cheese ravioli weren't great on their own. The pasta was a little bit too firm, but once I added sauce and cheap Parmesan, these turned into a decent meal. Bristol brand luncheon loaf. It's simply a knockoff brand of treat luncheon meat. The Bristol brand luncheon loaf looked, smelled, and was very, very close to the flavor of treat, but maybe a little less flavor. But in a pinch, a treat fan would enjoy it. The Dollar Tree Seafood House provided us with a $4 seafood platter that had fish sticks, butterfly shrimp, popcorn shrimp, and shrimp tempura. The fish sticks had a good flavor, but too much filler, too much breading, and very little fish. The popcorn shrimp were very bland, but they were real shrimp, and not a formed shrimp slurry concoction. The butterfly shrimp were pretty greasy, but again, it was real shrimp and they were fairly tasty. My favorite part of the seafood platter was the shrimp tempura. That was anything but shrimp tempura. It was a very delicious and very crunchy concoction of shrimp, squid, and fish paste, and a Rice Krispie-like batter. And again, it was anything but shrimp tempura, but they were delicious. The Red Baron mini scrambles were surprisingly good, both microwaved and baked in the oven. But I did prefer the baked version, which were obviously crispier. Chef Ernesto hit another home run with his very few ingredient vegetable samosas, which depending on how you looked at them, resembled tortellini, fortune cookies, or Bart Simpson's butt. These were delicious. The only complaint I had was I wish they had more filling. I'd definitely get these again. Pleasant Prairie's pork loin riblets were real meat with bones. That's fairly unheard of at the Dollar Tree. It definitely wasn't the highest quality of cuts, but it was real meat with no fillers, although they were enhanced with a solution. They were tasty on their own, but they were even tastier with barbecue sauce. I really liked Jennifer's Garden spring rolls. These had very few but simple ingredients. They were really crispy and really delicious. Homemade Chinese mustard and duck sauce took these to another level. I baked these and they were great. They'd be even better deep fried. 10 of these spring rolls for $1 is a bargain, and I'd definitely get them again. Chef Ernesto pulled through again with his Veggie Burgers. Again, they had very few, but simple ingredients. But these veggie burgers were more like potato pancakes with vegetables in them. Regardless of what you want to call them, they were delicious, and I would definitely get them again. Poppy's Polish-style potato and cheddar pierogi were another nice surprise. I kept them really simple and just boiled them, and then I drizzled with a little bit of olive oil and salt and pepper, and they were delicious. Had I pan-fried them in butter, they would have been amazing. They had a good amount of tasty filling, and I'd definitely get them again. Finally, I picked up a 10-ounce tub of Farmer John sausage, a half a gallon of milk, a 5-pack of jumbo biscuits, and a dozen eggs, all for a total of $4. I made sausage gravy, fried and scrambled eggs, and of course the biscuits, which made a pretty darn delicious breakfast for my wife and I. And we had one leftover biscuit, milk, and 8 eggs. Well, there's the rundown of all the Dollar Tree foods I tried in 2017, from worst to the best. In 2018, I'm looking forward to trying even more Dollar Tree foods for you, the people. If you'd like to help support the Wolf Pit, consider being a patron. You can pledge as little as $1 a month. That's only $12 for the whole year. Or you can pledge more. That's up to you. Either way, every little bit's appreciated and helps me produce more high-quality videos more often for you, the people. Thank you all very much for watching. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.